Hello, we're here with BellaHoot. We're going to talk about dip powder application, doing a French tip, and we're actually going to add the tips to my nails for length. So you can do this on your natural nails, but we're going to go ahead and add the tips for length. So what you'll need is a buffing block. You can get whatever your favorite nail files are, or some old ones, whichever you prefer, because you're going to be filing a little bit. A cuticle pusher or orange stick, nail clippers. You can use scissors too for to clip the tips down. Nail glue your tips. You'll need 10 of them. I've just got the one to show you here that I'm going to use during the video. I forgot my big fluffy nail brush, so I just have an old makeup brush. And then this is the French dip starter set, the starter kit. And in that, you're going to have your base, your activator, and your top coat. And then this one comes with clear powder, white powder, and then pink. This one's really sparkly. Look how pretty. For this demonstration, I'm actually going to use the white on the French tips and then the pink on the base. I'm not going to use the clear just because my nails are always really brittle and icky. It doesn't matter how much oil I use and all kinds of fun stuff. They just stay really dry, and that's okay. So I do use nail oil all the time and cuticle oil, and if I'm not doing like right now where I'm testing out a lot of different colors and stuff, it does really help keep my cuticles nice and refreshed, and it'll even clean up my nails. But right now I've been testing and sampling stuff, so they're not happy little nails, but that's okay. So to get started, we are going to prep our nails, which I've already done ahead of time. So I pushed all my cuticles back, okay? I filed all my edges just to make them nice and smooth, and I cleaned them with an alcohol swab. You can just use alcohol at home. You want to try to use a lint-free towelette or whatever if you're going to be not using an alcohol swab. That way you don't end up with a whole bunch of cotton on your fingers. So I already did all that part, and then you're going to want to buff off the natural shine of your nail. So that way the base can adhere better. I'm sorry. You're not having to fight with the oils in your nails. Okay, so we've done all that part. The next step we're going to do is, and I've already, like I said, prepped my nails so you wouldn't have to watch it all. But before you get started with your tips, you're going to want to pick out all 10 sizes that you're going to need for all of your nails, and make sure that they do not overlap at all, and that you're not having to push them down to get them to stay, because if you're having to push them down to stay, you're going to end up with a situation that's like that, and then they're sticking up on the edges, and it's just going to be a mess. So make sure they fit just nice down on the nail bed like that. If you do have any little stray edges or anything sticking up, you can give them a little file, and we're going to apply the nail glue. You don't need a whole lot, but you do need it all the way around, so that way it does lay down. I have to try and make sure I've got it on there through my little camera lens. I apologize. Okay. So we're going to apply it just at the tip of the nail. And as I said, you're not going to want to push it down just enough to get it to stick. You don't want it to be pushed way down. You want it to, that's going to be the shape of your nail. So you're going to want to give it a little bit of time to dry. I'm going to go ahead and pause this again, and as you see, I've already done the next two steps, which is we're going to trim them down, we're going to shape them, and then we'll buff off the nail bed so they're nice and flat. So you've got a smooth edge to do your dipping powders on. So let me let that dry for just a second. I'll be right back. And it doesn't take that long to dry. Normally, you're going to be doing all 10 of your nails. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm only going to do one hand, but you would apply your glue in your tip, and keep going to all 10 of your nails. So when you come back to this one to trim it, it's going to be nice and dry. But since I'm just showing you this one to save us some time on the video, I needed to give it time to dry. So the next thing you can do is, I just did a square tip. If you're going to do a stiletto or a coffin shape, you can trim them up this way as well. Okay, but since I'm doing them square, I'm just going to cut across so I don't have to do as much filing. And I always worry that I'm going to cut too much off. It's just a little anxiety thing that I have. So as you see, I cut from both sides, and then I'm just going to remove the tip. And then I can check it against my rest of them. See how I left way too much? So we can trim it just a little bit more. Sorry, let me make sure I stay on camera here. So if you can trim it down, you're going to save on your filing. You can just file if you prefer. Whenever we're doing our filing, you can use an electric file if you want. For the purpose of this video, since maybe not everybody has them at home, I just used a regular file. You can use your large one if that makes you happy, or if you have a smaller one, whatever you want to do. So all I'm going to do, is shape the nail. If you are doing a stiletto or a coffin, you're going to want to come in at an angle, and you're going to want to switch from side to side, so that way when you get your tip, as it's coming out straight from there, whether it's a coffin or a stiletto, it'll be nice and even on both sides. So let me try to not take forever shaping it. Hopefully I got enough trimmed off. Kind of hard to do this in the camera. That's why I prepped this all beforehand, so I wasn't trying to look through the camera and shape and file, and that way you could see me do everything, but not have to wait for me to do all 10. Okay, so that should give us the shape that I'm looking for. Let me just round out the edge just a little bit. There we go, and you can check them to make sure they're underneath. I still have, looks pretty good. I have a little bit extra length on this one. And these file really easy, these tips, so I love that. So pretty good. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. And again, you could trim them too if you're finding that you're having to file too much, whatever you need to do. Pretty good, right? So, as I mentioned, we're going to do our French tip, so I'm going to keep making sure that my nail is nice and smooth so we have a nice dip. The buffer that I have does not have a large grit on this side. It has a smoother grit. So I just used my file to get a little bit of a head start on the tip, just smoothing it out so it is flat against the surface of my nail. And again, if you have an electric file, you could use that. But you'll get to see that you don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff to do these at home. They are easy peasy. The electric file will just save you some time if you do have one. And we will be getting them. When you see this video, we might already have them on the site. But I won't have them till probably next week, so I didn't want to delay on getting you guys a video on how to apply the tips. So just, you can do, once you apply these tips and you have them nice and smooth and ready to dip, you can just apply like a single color, like you could just apply the pink if you want and have it all over your nail. But like I mentioned, for the purpose of this tutorial, I've done that tutorial on my natural nail. And you can do both the French and a full color on your natural nail or on tips for length. You could actually do the dips over acrylic. You can do them over, full press-on nails, whatever you'd like. So once we're nice and smooth against the nail, I think we're almost there. So you're not really trying to buff your nail, you're just buffing the tip to lay flat so you can have a flat surface to dip. Not really flat, but even. How about even? Okay. I think I just have an extra bit of dip on this nail, so I might need just a little bit extra. And you can see this, as I said, it takes more time if you're filing, whereas if you have that electric file, it'll save you some time. And probably if you have a buffing block with a little more grit, it'll save you some time on this. Most of the time when you use a buffer, you're not trying to remove a whole lot of tip or nail. You're just buffing off your natural shine or getting back your natural shine as you go around the steps. So there we go. Okay. So we're going to get off all our excess tip and have a clean surface to start with again. And we're going to start our dip. So in order to prep, we want our pink for our base. So I'm going to give that an open. And normally, as I mentioned, if you were at home, you'd have all 10 of your nails done. I'm just doing this for the sake of saving some time. Look at that sparkle. I'm so excited. And then our French dip tray or our dip powder tray, you can use this for a couple of reasons. One would be just to keep your powder outside of the container. That way you are not, if you're going to be sharing these containers with somebody, you can keep your powder off to the side, and it has a lid so you can close it. In this case, we're going to use it in order to make our French dip line. So we're going to slide it into the powder and stop, where we want our line to be. And then also, if you have longer nails and you're trying to stick them into the container might not be tall enough if you have super long nails. So this is a good way to do that because you can set them in there this way, or you can slide them in a longer fashion. So you can just use a shallow container if you have your longer nails to slide them in. But in this case, we're using it to get our beautiful French tip smile line. So you want to fill this about halfway up. Give it a little shake. Make sure you've got enough in there. And this, like as I mentioned, I'm using the white. Make sure I'm not talking through it. It is white. Okay. Oops. Okay, now our directions are on the back of our kit. I'm going to try not to knock everything over, guys. It's so far failing miserably. So I'm going to put this over here and just show you that your application instructions are right on the back of your starter set. So, and just so you can see the advantages of using this, this is a healthier way to do your nails instead of using gel with the UV light and acrylics. So it's healthier for your nails. So we already filed, buffed, and prepped our nails. So now we're going to go and apply the base for the first time. Now, if we were not doing a French tip, we would apply the base, to your whole natural nail, okay, except for a hairline around the cuticle. Since we're doing the French tip, we are going to start by, if I can get my little thing open. I've been using it like crazy, so there we go. Okay. All right, so what you want to do is when you're starting, you want to start on, say, your pinky and work your way all the way around your nails, all 10 of your nails, doing the first step. That'll give it time to dry. So, and I, of course, forgot which side is my shallow side so I turned it upside down to look. So I'm going to put this is my shallow side. Okay, so I'm going to apply the base coat to just my natural nail to start with, the hairline away, like 3/4 of the nail. So just on my natural nail to start with. And this is going to give us our shape that we're wanting to have. And if you get it over your tip like I just did, you can just wipe it off a little bit with your orange stick or a Q-tip, not Q-tip, a toothpick. And we're going to dip it right. We're going to bring our powder up to our nail and dip it in our pink to get started. And then when you go to shake your powder off, you want to have your nail straight up and down. And that way it's falling off your nail and not just bumping back on top of your nail. So you can shake it off there. And we're going to do that for all 10 nails. Technically, I'm only going to do 5. So you just want to do 3/4 of your nail, apply a thin coat of base onto your natural nail. Dip it right into your pink. You can bring your pink up to your nail. And then straight up and down, you're going to dab it off. And this is, like I said, it's going to give time for your first one to dry. So 3/4 of your nail. dip, shake it off. So these coats have a very quick dry time. That's why you just need to do, you know, each step on your 10 nails, and then when you come back to your first nail, it'll already be ready for you to go. Bring your powder up, back down, dab it. You will find this is much easier to do when you're not trying to talk through a camera and see what you're doing. Bring your powder up, dab it. And I should mention, you probably want to have maybe a paper towel or something under you. That way as you work, you're not making a mess on your surface. Okay, so for our second round of base, now we're going to apply the base. And you can also, which I really should be doing, I needed to grab my paper towel. Hold on one second. You can be wiping off your brush between each time you put it onto your nail. That way you're not getting, now that we have powder on there, you don't want to get more powder into your base coat, into your base bottle. So we're going to apply it all over the nail, just a hairline away from the cuticle. And this time we're going to wipe off our brush and go into our French dip tray. On the shallow side, I'm going to slide it right in, and I'm going to stop where I want my little smile line to stop. Okay, we're going to shake it off, and we're going to quickly dip into our pink. It is not going to ruin your white powder. Okay, shake it off, and repeat for all fingers. So we're going to take our base, this time the hairline away from the cuticle, all over our nail, including the tip. We're going to go into our white. Hopefully I'm not yelling too loud into this camera here. Into our white, wherever we want our smile line to be. Keep in mind I can't see the other side, so we might have an interesting smile line when we're all said and done. I don't want to knock over the camera. Shake it off. And you can shake back your tray too, so you're not having to go back in too far on your next round. Quickly into your pink. And shake it off. And again, a hairline away from your cuticle, your entire nail. And I'm probably forgetting, because I'm on camera, to wipe off my brush into my white. Am I on camera? Into my white, where I want that smile line to be. Back out, shake it off straight up and down, and into my pink. Shake it off. 2 more. At home you'd have still 7 more. Hairline away from your cuticle. I know I'm saying it over and over again, but that's a part where if you go back too far, you're going to have this stuff all over your cuticles. Into your white. Shake it off. Into your pink. Sorry, I'm moving the camera everywhere. Shake it off. One last time. So this is our second total dip. The first time we just did our natural nail. Hairline away from your cuticle. The second time we're dipping into your white to get your smile line for your French tip. And then doing your base again. So into your white. Shake it off. Quickly into your pink. Shake it off. Now I will tell you there's one more way that you can do this if you'd like. Let's get all of our excess off here quick. Is if you don't want to run any risk of mixing your whites and your pinks, I've seen the tutorial done both ways. I have not had any problems with my white going into my pink, But if you want, you can use a little scoop into your pink and scoop it onto your nails. You know, you would just take it, I don't have a scoop with me, but if you scooped it on and then just let it go all over your nail, then you're not dipping it into both. Okay, so for our last dip, we're going to try and make sure my smile lines on the other side look good. So let me try this again. We're going to do one more dip, and then we'll finish up here. So starting on the nail that we started with, you'll have done all 10. We're going to go again just above the cuticle line. Apply your base all over the nail. You're going to try and line up your smile line again. So go right into your white where you want your smile line, and then into your pink. Oh, let's shake it off, sorry. Shake it off. Into your pink. Shake it off. And we're going to keep going. So all over the nail except your cuticle. Into your white. Sorry if I'm getting off camera, it's just because I'm trying to see on the other side of my nail. I was not, you'll see on this next one what I'm talking about. Shake off the white. And as I mentioned, you won't have the challenge of going over your camera at home. Shake off your pink straight up and down. Okay, see how I missed the smile line over here because I had my nail turned towards you on the camera? We're going to make sure I don't do that hopefully this time. So all over the nail, except your cuticle. Once you get the hang of this, you'll remember not to do little things like go onto your cuticle. We're going to go into that smile line again. Straighten it out. Shake it off. Go into your pink. You bring your pink up to you. Notice I'm bringing the tray up to me, bring the pink up to you. You don't want to shove your nail down into the dip. 2 more. And again, at home you'd have 7 more. So pretty easy peasy, right? You're just repeating basically the same steps over and over again. And I am not a professional, so you can do this right at home and still end up with that professional look. Into your white. Shake it off, into your pink, and last one. Now, what I will go ahead and do, I normally probably would not do another layer, but if you want a little bit of extra strength, and then if you want the, I don't think I'm going to actually show you because I don't want my camera to cut off. But I will tell you that what you can do is do one final dip of your entire nail into clear if you want, because then when you go to shape your nail between your activator coats, you're not taking off any of your color. Okay, so now we've done, on the back of our box, we've applied our base for the very first, very thin line in the first time. We've done our dipping. We've reapplied our base and dipped again. We actually did a third dip because our first one was just to get the shape of our nail going since we have the tips on. And then now we're going to brush everything off again. I'm going to close everything up just so I don't spill it. So we're going to brush everything off. And we're going to apply activator for the first time. So again, when you start on the first nail that you've been doing first the whole time, by the time you get through all your 10 nails, your activator will be dry. And you can do this up to 3 times this round before you shape your powder. This one's a little wonky because I can't be on camera doing all this stuff. That's okay. So let me see what we think. I think I might do one more activator just because I've got so much powder on there because we did 3 dips. I usually do 2 if I'm just doing a solid color. So this time we did 3, and you can actually do up to 5 dips maybe. It just depends on how thick you want your end result, how hard you are on your nails. You'd want it a little bit thicker maybe. Okay, so now we're going to just shape the nail. You can again use an e-file if you'd like, or an electric file. You can go through and shape the top of your nail and smooth it out. Your tips, this is going to be really hard for me to do on camera. Sorry. Let me go ahead and pause you, and I'm going to do this part where I won't be knocking over the camera. Okay, so I'm all shaped, and we're going to brush this. We already applied 1 coat of activator or 2, depending on your comfort. You can do up to 3. Then we shaped and filed the nails, and then we remove any excess powder, and we're going to do 1 more round of activator. So this is after you've shaped. And you're going to always want to go parallel to the nail. So always like from back to front. You don't want to be going side to side. Apply even coats. And your first coat, you always want to go thin. This stuff is super strong, so like I said, you can dip up to 5 times. I probably recommend just the 3 to 4 if you're using your tips. If you're just doing your natural nail, you can even just do 2 dips. So that was our activator. We would apply it to all 10 nails if were doing all 10 of our nails. And now we're going to do our top coat. So the last step is to apply your top coat. You let it dry, and you can do a second top coat if you'd like. Just make sure the activator's dry since we didn't do all 10 nails. And we're going to apply our top coat. And this is where you're going to see that super amazing shine come in that you would get if you were using like your gel polish, but you don't need your UV light to cure. It is going to just dry on its own. Maybe takes probably 1 to 2 minutes, not very long at all. And you're going to get that super sleek shine. So very little dry time in this whole process. If you're not yammering on like me, it would not have taken, the filing is what takes the longest if you're using your tips. If you're not, if you're just putting it right on your natural nail, it doesn't take that long at all. You can probably do this in less than 20 minutes easy on all 10 nails. So that's 1 coat of top coat. You can already see basically how it would look. I'm going to let it dry and apply a last top coat, and I'll take photos for everyone to see. So thanks so much for watching. You do keep in mind, as I mentioned, if you don't like the pink in the French tip, you can use the clear that comes in this bucket, in the starter kit. This is the bucket, the clear bucket. Or you can use this for your last layer too of your last dip. That way you're not taking off any of your color when you do your shaping. So I should actually be dry enough. I'm going to apply this last coat real quick. And I thank you guys so much for watching. This is our BellaHoot dip powders. This one I showed you tonight is the French dip starter set. We will have different starter sets available and then our individual colors too. These last for up to 2 weeks. Easily, you'll probably just take them off because of the grow out. They're nice and hard like your acrylic nails, so they will last and not chip or break very easily. You can't, I mean, they're not indestructible, but look at that gorgeous, gorgeous shine. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.